The young man faced 100 armed enemies in front of him, yet he showed no fear. On the contrary, the armed group seemed hesitant when they looked at him. Why was that? Because he possessed extraordinary strength. One punch could shatter bones, one kick could break ribs, and even alone, he could push back all 100 of them. Who is this young man? Let's find out together. This villain calmly heats 2 iron rods in the blazing fire, waiting for them to reach a certain temperature. When the rods are sufficiently hot, he suddenly turns around and swiftly slashes a sharp line across the rebel's throat. However, when the 2 glowing iron rods are held in front of the young man's pupils, he does not flinch, unlike the others. His face shows no fear, his demeanor calm, leaving a strong impression on the villain. The young man's name is Fei, and Master Louis is the notorious leader of the Black Tiger Gang at the Keajiang Harbor. A few minutes ago, Fei had been on a boat with the disciples of the Black Gang to pay respects to the gang leader. All of them had been members of the Black Gang for over 5 years, but it was only now that they had the chance to be summoned to the headquarters. While the brothers chatted lively, Fei remained silent. His purpose was not just to meet the leader but also to rise to the position of the 4th Tiger in the Black Tiger Gang. In Keajiang Harbor, the most famous Silk Road in China, the Black Tiger Gang controlled all the trade and shipping activities from the West and around the world, taking a large share of the profits. With thousands of members, fortunes in gold and silver, and gambling halls under the control of this family, Master Louis is the father and leader, with his eldest son Tong Hao, second son Junhua, and youngest son Tianlong. As their business expanded, Master Louis wanted to adopt another son, the 4th Tiger. Fei was truly talented. Master Louis' test was extremely harsh. He poured tea into each disciple's cup and then directly poured hot water into the tea. The hot water burned their hands, making everyone drop their cups and give up. Only Fei and disciples with over 10 years of experience remained. Master Louis instructed Fei to drink it, and Fei poured all the hot tea into his throat without changing his expression. Fei's performance deserved first place. However, Master Louis intentionally ordered in front of him that whoever brought the head of the North Sea Gang leader would earn the title of the 4th Tiger in the Black Tiger Gang. Fei said little, storming into the North Sea Gang, directly confronting the North Sea Gang leader. The North Sea Gang and Black Tiger Gang were bitter rivals, fighting for every opportunity to ship goods for Westerners at Keajiang Harbor. There cannot be 2 tigers on the same mountain. The stronger one will crush the other. So, when Fei attacked unexpectedly, the North Sea Gang leader was prepared. His sword was sharpened to the point where it could cut through a birdcage from a distance. But Fei's speed was like a rabbit's punch, solid as a boulder on Mount Tai, making the North Sea Gang leader unable to defend himself. In the end, the sharp blade he had honed himself severed his own neck. Fei grabbed the North Sea Gang disciple's head and entered, facing hundreds of men eager for revenge. Fei was not afraid. Using one of them as a platform, he jumped to the ground. He tied the North Sea Gang leader's head to his waist and fought hundreds of opponents unarmed. Each punch and kick was strong, his energy fierce like a roaring tiger. But more and more North Sea Gang disciples arrived. No matter what, they were martial artists. One man could not fight against Fei, but when Fei faced hundreds wielding knives, his strength would eventually run out. Fortunately, when he fell, his friend Otto exploded fireworks in time, taking advantage of the chaos to carry Fei away. Though injured, Fei still clutched the North Sea Gang leader's head. His effort must be gambled with his life, and he would never let anyone take away this spirit. This audacity made Master Louis truly admire Fei. He declared to everyone, Fei is the fierce 4th Tiger of the Black Tiger Gang, the adopted son of Master Louis. I will definitely save him. After a few days of treatment, Fei woke up. Otto was still by his side, caring for him. Otto wanted a friend who was the strongest, so he risked everything to save Fei. Fei owed Otto a great debt, a life debt, which he would repay when the opportunity arose. For now, Fei needed Otto to keep quiet so he could rest. The next day, the head of the North Sea Gang leader was hung in the market. His son, Dihua, was furious and wanted immediate revenge for his father. But the steward stopped him in time. The revenge would come, but not yet. The Western merchants, hearing that the North Sea Gang leader had fallen, cancelled all orders with Dihua. In the eyes of the merchants, it was all about goods and money, not the decades of partnership Dihua spoke of. At Keajiang Harbor, whether the North Sea Gang or Black Tiger Gang was in charge, the merchants would work with whoever had the shipping power. Moreover, with Fei backing the Black Tiger Gang, they became even stronger. Seeing this, a tattoo artist revealed to Fei that the Black Tiger Gang hid a large treasure in the old city of Guangzhou. To open the treasure vault, 2 keys were required. Both were carefully kept by Master Louis, one made of gold and the other of silver. Recently, he had entrusted the keys to his 2 most capable sons. Junhua held the silver key, and Tianlong held the gold key. Each time Master Louis wanted to open the vault, both Junhua and Tianlong had to accompany him. Since becoming the fourth tiger, Fei had become a killing machine for Master Louis, helping him gain much territory and expand his fame. Tong Hao, the incompetent eldest son, disliked Fei, and during a gathering, he refused to let the brothers toast to the fourth tiger. Fei didn't care, teasing Tong Hao a few times, making the others laugh. Junhua, who didn't like his foolish elder brother, defended Fei, causing Tong Hao to punch Fei in the stomach. Junhua stood up, ready to fight his brother, but both stopped when Master Louis appeared. The next day, Master Louis took Fei with him to discuss a business deal. It was a big one. The Western merchants needed 300 slaves to transport goods next month. The North Sea Gang could not meet the demand. But the Black Tiger Gang could provide, as Master Louis didn't recruit workers, but instead directly kidnapped people and tied them up. Master Louis had always been cruel, and Fei, who was originally an upright person, wondered why he would serve such a ruthless man. The reason was that Fei wanted to enter the tiger's den to catch the Tiger King. Since childhood, Fei had been raised by a father who practiced medicine. Together, they went to save people, adopted orphan children, and took care of those who were sick. One time, the father and son saved a boy named Ahoa, who seemed to be dead. Fei gave up all his peanuts to save him. "My name is Fei. I'm known as the Undefeated, because I cannot die," he said, which inspired Ahoa. From then on, the four children, Fei, Ahoa, Azan, and Xuan, became the closest of siblings, communicating with each other through bird calls as signals. One day, Xuan hurriedly reported that Azan had been kidnapped by the Li family. Ahoa and Fei armed themselves to rescue him. Fei had skill, but he wasn't strong enough to protect his siblings. He immediately returned to rescue his father. Upon hearing the news, Fei's father rushed to the Li family to demand his son back. Although Fei's father was a doctor, he was also a martial artist. He defeated the Li family, but Azan had already been sold into a brothel. Fei's father, being compassionate, did not kill the Li family, but little did he know, they were treacherous. In the middle of the night, they set his house on fire. Fei's father risked his life to rush into the flames to rescue the children. Fei also ran into the fire to search for Ahoa. Although Ahoa tried to push him away, Fei was determined to save his younger brother. That's how Fei got burned and the scar in the shape of a tiger appeared on his back, but Fei's father was not as fortunate. He had exhausted himself and was consumed by flames, leaving his children orphans. Fei and Otto once again went to the Li family mansion for revenge, but when they stormed in, the entire Li family had been wiped out by their enemies. Suddenly, a man appeared and took Fei and Otto up the mountain. He didn't explain, forcing them to become his disciples. When they learned martial arts, they still could not answer the question of why they sought revenge. When the two young men grew up and mastered their skills, the master finally said, "Revenge is saving people." The brothers slowly understood the truth that eliminating evil was saving the world, saving others, and saving oneself. The master had once been saved by Fei's father, and now he repaid the favor by guiding Fei and Otto on the right path. Now, both of them had grown up and could leave the mountain to fulfill their mission. Before leaving, Fei took two small branches. Otto picked the short one, and Fei took the long one. Fei then said, "The one holding the long branch will walk through hell." Fei would go into hell to capture demons, and once he had caught them all, Otto would pull him back. After descending the mountain, Fei did everything to join the Black Tiger Gang because it was the most powerful gang, dominating the harbor, the trade of goods, and exploiting the people living nearby, forcing them into slave labor for the gang leader. On payday, only the fastest could grab some silver, while the unlucky ones, exhausted from labor, would die of hunger or exhaustion. Anyone who dared to report to the authorities would be punished and thrown into the sea with the other unfortunate workers. Ahoa, Xuan, and the other orphan children from years ago formed a gang called the Orphan Gang, living by relying on one another. Xuan and Ahoa never stopped looking for and taking in more orphan children, just like how Fei and Fei's father had once saved them. However, there were still some children who were less fortunate, who passed away before they could be found and taken in. Day by day, Ahoa began to develop feelings for Xuan. He saved up money to buy her a bracelet, but she awkwardly returned it, as she had already developed feelings for big brother Fei. Since becoming the fourth tiger, Fei had been infatuated with the top courtesan, Alan, from the Kimlang Hua Fuang. However, this was only a role he deliberately created for the world to see and judge. Alan, too, was one of Fei's people. She was tasked with delivering secret messages from Fei to Xuan. She also comforted Fei whenever he remembered his painful past or grew weary from all the bloodshed caused by serving Master Louis. However, in Fei's heart, there was only the image of Azan, who had been kidnapped. Fei and Ahoa would communicate through nightly fishing at the Hua Fuang. This time, Ashwen and Ahoa received a secret message from Fei, directing them to eliminate Tianlong, who held the golden key. So, while Tianlong was out, Ahoa had a group of beggar children surround him. One of the children skillfully snatched his pouch of silver and threw it to Ashwen. She calmly led Tianlong and his men into a chase. Seeing just a seemingly weak woman, Tianlong, ever scheming, did not suspect anything and stepped right into the trap set by the Orphan Gang. When Tianlong found Ashwen, his fate was sealed. A boiling pot of oil was poured straight into his face. His subordinates were swiftly taken care of by Ashwen and Ahoa. Tianlong's face was swollen, yet he still had some strength, but against the Orphan Gang, with its strong numbers and singular purpose of eradicating evil, he was no more than a cub, kicked into the latrine by Ahoa and left to die in disgraceful humiliation. After obtaining the golden key, Ashwen only wanted to make a duplicate, not take the key immediately. Tianlong's body was thrown in front of the Black Tiger Gang. Master Louis saw it but felt no sorrow. In fact, he was pleased that the key hadn't been stolen. In front of Fei, he handed the golden key to his useless son, Tong Hao. Tong Hao was overjoyed, but pretended to be naive, offering it to Fei, hoping he wouldn't take it. Fei did not take it, as he had prepared a grand plan for Tong Hao to take responsibility. Not long after, Fei appeared at Junhua's casino. He deliberately lost all his money, then asked to borrow silver from Junhua. Junhua agreed, and Fei kept losing repeatedly, his debt skyrocketing from 50 to 3,000 taels of silver. When Junhua refused to lend him more, Fei stopped playing. Junhua knew that Fei wasn't there to gamble, and Fei pulled out the golden key. It was the one he secretly forged from the golden key Tong Hao was holding. Now Junhua had both the golden and silver keys, and could take as much silver as Junhua wished. Initially, Junhua was suspicious of Fei's plans to divide them, but when Fei said, "I'm not good at anything except fighting and thinking, not as smart as you, so I'm sure that one day, Father will pass the leadership to you. Right now, I'm just choosing someone to rely on," Junhua, seeing Fei align with him, took him to the treasure vault, the secret of the Black Tiger Gang. Indeed, the golden key unlocked the vault door, revealing gleaming silver, and Junhua was overjoyed, completely trusting Fei. Soon after, Ahoa and Azan received a map leading to the vault. Their goal was to steal the treasure and distribute it to the people. Fei received a reply from Ashwen: "Use fire as a signal tomorrow night." That night, the Orphan Gang suddenly launched an attack on the Black Tiger Gang's pleasure house, driving out all the guests and courtesans before setting the place ablaze. Meanwhile, Master Louis took a fee to view his collection of rare goods, items he had seized from enemies he had defeated. These items were filled with lethal energy and the spirits of anger. Of course, this wasn't just a visit to admire the swords. Master Louis knew that the son of the North Sea Gang leader had been secretly watching him, waiting for the right moment to avenge his father. Now, it seemed the right time to end all grudges. As Master Louis put it, it was time to eradicate the roots. He had Fei face Dihua in a duel. Dihua, carrying his father's sharp weapon, aimed to take revenge, his blade cutting through the air with force, but Fei, ever cautious, knew the dangers of such a fight. With one wrong move, Fei could be split in two. However, Dihua was no match for Fei. Despite his burning desire for vengeance, in terms of skill, experience, and strength, he was outclassed by Fei, who had been trained since childhood. But Fei didn't want to kill Dihua. They were both seeking revenge. Unexpectedly, a kick from Master Louis sent Fei's sword through Dihua's chest. This outcome was not what Fei had wanted. Fortunately, his mood lifted when he saw the fire rising in the distance. Over there, Ahoa had blocked the path, fighting Junhua's men who were armed with swords. Ahoa fought desperately to allow Ashwen to lead Junhua into the trap. Ashwen fired a signal flare, summoning Fei, and then kept running. Like Tianlong, Junhua, underestimating women and their strength, was easily lured into a trap. He arrived at a deserted temple, where rows of coffins awaited him and his men. Fei appeared behind Junhua, who, still not understanding the situation, thought his brother was here to save him. But instead of saving him, Fei called for people to surround Junhua. Ashwen remembered how her parents, who were small-time traders, had been ruthlessly killed by the Black Tiger Gang to seize their territory. Now, this revenge had to be taken, for if she didn't, she would no longer be Ashwen. Meanwhile, more men from the Black Tiger Gang arrived. Ahoa, exhausted, managed to kill Junhua. With the silver key, Ashwen opened the vault that Master Louis had accumulated throughout his life, distributing all the riches to the suffering people. It was only fair, as Master Louis' wealth was taken from the people. When Fei returned, he was shocked to see his brother Ahoa had been captured and was covered in injuries. To make matters worse, Master Louis forced him to personally interrogate Ahoa. Ahoa revealed there was an informant within the Black Tiger Gang. Faye could not bear to hurt him. Ahoa refused to let Faye save him, because at this moment, Faye's true identity still needed to remain a secret. Faye had to rescue the 300 slaves imprisoned by Master Louis. Years ago, it was his older brother who saved him from the Sea of Flames, and from that moment, he had determined that his life belonged to his brother. Now, he wanted to return it to him so that his brother could continue the mission. But Faye still couldn't bring himself to act. Just as Faye was about to reveal his true identity under pressure, the body of Junhua was brought in. The tattoo artist examined the body and discovered marks that Tong Hao often used to punish others. This shifted the suspicion from Faye to Tong Hao. Tong Hao, foolish as ever, tried to explain but only made things worse. He then turned to interrogate Ahoa. Ahoa refused to let him torture him and took Tong Hao's knife to end his own life. This only further increased Master Louis' suspicion of his eldest son, thinking he had killed Ahoa to cover his tracks. The one in the most pain was Faye, witnessing his brother's death at the hands of their enemy. Powerless, he sought out Alan to cry his heart out. Alan, heartbroken, began to think that she would kill Tong Hao in place of Faye. The next day, Ahoa's body was brought out into the marketplace, as Master Louis knew the Orphan Gang would come to steal the body for burial. Faye realized Master Louis' plan and had a blind man retell the story of the ambush to warn Ashwen and their team not to act, or they would all be caught. Upon hearing the story, Ashwen realized Master Louis' trap. The Orphan Gang immediately withdrew. Master Louis was furious that his plan had been foiled. In the middle of it all, he called up the blind man who had told the story, trying to identify the voice of the person who had hired him. One by one, each person came forward, and the storyteller shook his head. When it was Faye's turn, he claimed to be the one who had opened the vault to save the people. The blind man, who had been given silver that day, shook his head and helped Faye deceive Master Louis. Otto also helped Faye cover his tracks. That night, Alan proactively went to find Tong Hao. Tong Hao, mesmerized by her beauty, allowed Alan to get close. "You are the woman of Faye. You are using this to deceive me." "No, I just want to seek a new place to rely on, because I know that you will be the next leader of the Black Tiger Gang, not someone who is being suspected." Tong Hao, flattered by her words and enchanted by her smooth, pale skin, was moved. Taking advantage of his distraction, Alan withdrew a hairpin and tried to stab him with it, but Tong Hao caught her hand. Enraged, he shoved her into the water, ending the life of a beautiful flower. Afterward, he noticed a servant girl who was with her. As he approached, a swift strike across his neck ended his life as well. The reason Ashwen didn't save Alan was because Alan didn't want to be saved. Now Ashwen learned that Alan was actually her sister, Azin, from long ago. Alan had no attachment to the mortal world anymore, so she wanted to live forever in Faye's heart and memory. Faye was stunned. Azin, the one he had been searching for, had always been by his side. Standing in front of Ahoa and Azin's graves, Ashwen asked Faye to wear the bracelet Ahoa had given her. Ashwen decided that she would no longer love Faye. After some investigation, Faye learned where the 300 workers were being held. Ashwen went to inform the people to join them in rescuing them. Fai Long became the new leader of the Orphan Gang. He trained in martial arts with the Orphan Gang and the 300 workers, preparing to challenge Master Louis at the Black Tiger Gang. But when they arrived, Faye insisted on facing Master Louis alone, so that no one would be harmed. Master Louis agreed to let Faye enter his home. As soon as Faye stepped inside, he set all of Master Louis' goods on fire. Master Louis was furious. Now the house had turned into a giant inferno that would consume both of them. Whether Faye won or lost, neither of them would be able to escape. Master Louis was indeed very strong, surpassing Faye in martial arts. However, his old age made him unable to withstand the heat for long, and the advantage slowly shifted to Faye. Master Louis fought for a while, using all his skills, but still couldn't turn the tide. Master Louis was knocked down by Faye. Faye, despite wanting to give Master Louis a way out, saw that Master Louis refused to submit, choosing to fall on his own instead. After Faye's victory, he had accomplished his mission to eliminate the Tyrant and restore peace and justice to the people of the harbor. And so, the film ends. If you enjoyed it, give us a like and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for future reviews. Mao Mao Movie Recap says goodbye and see you next time.